Tyga is a name I'm sure most of you guys would have seen quite frequently on the charts and features from 2011 onwards, but over time his name has been becoming seemingly less and less relevant. When this happens to an artist, the biggest question is, why did this happen, and did they bring it on themselves? Welcome to the debut of On Then Gone, the series where I will explain how a rapper got on in the first place, why they fell off, and if they can ever make a comeback. Now before I start, I would like to thank Amino for sponsoring this video here today. Now Amino is a great app that contains a bunch of different communities for tons of different hobbies. My personal favourites are rap and hip hop, Black Panther, The Walking Dead, and sneakerheads. All these communities have a front page of featured posts, such as this one where the author talked about which collab albums he would like to see, and there's also quizzes and wikis that you can read and contribute information to. There's always something happening in these communities, from the heated but respectful debates in rap and hip hop, the great fan art in Black Panther, getting jealous of other people's collections on sneakerheads, and the discussions and theories about The Walking Dead. So come join the fun, and the download link will be at the top of the description down below. And once again, thank you to Amino for sponsoring this video. So with all that being said guys, this is CDTVProductions. You can subscribe to my second channel, CDTV the G, where I do music reactions, and today we will be looking at the rise and the fall of Tyga.
Yeah. Black man on the rise, so please step aside.
First, let's have a look at his rise. Tyga released his first album, No Introduction, in 2008, but this album really didn't receive much attention. It got some pretty average reviews and only had first week sales of about 6.5k copies. Interesting fact, he also made the choice to make this almost a completely clean album, very different from what he would go on to do. However, things would start looking up when, shortly after this, he signed a deal with Young Money. That was a pretty huge move, considering Lil Wayne, Nicki Minaj, and Drake were all on the label too at that time. This really helped him out, as he went on to make a collaboration mixtape with Chris Brown, which contained a song that was nominated for a Grammy. But the real high point for Tyga would come during the rollout for his first album with Young Money, titled Careless World: Rise of the Last King. So what is this high point that I'm talking about? It's the release of his song Rack City. The track did take a while to become a hit, but 8 weeks after its release, it hit number 8 on the Hot 100, giving Tyga his first solo top 10 single. And to this day, it has went 4 times platinum. This was a big achievement for Tyga. Not only was this single huge, but it clearly contributed to much better sales of his Young Money debut album. Careless World sold 61,000 copies in its first week, debuting at number 4 on the Billboard 200, despite a limited release due to an uncleared sample. Additionally, 7 whole singles from this album made it to the charts. Imagine Tyga doing that nowadays. I mean, purely just looking at the numbers, this really was his peak. The combination of Young Money signing him and a hit single really helped him hit a high point, but unfortunately, it doesn't go up from here. Like I said, this was his peak, and after the peak comes the valley.
I dream upon stars and pouring gas on my enemies. If I get a check, I'm not the vet.
Now Tyga's fall from grace was slow at first. His album Hotel California, released in 2013, didn't necessarily flop, but it sold 7,000 less copies in the first week than his previous effort. It's not terrible, but not great, considering you always want to move up as an artist. It also received incredibly mixed reviews from critics. Whilst we're on the subject of that album, I do want to say the song Switch Lanes, featuring The Game from that project, absolute banger. If there's one song from Tyga that you want to check out, listen to that one. He would then release another collaborative project with Chris Brown in 2015, and this album did relatively well sales-wise, and spawned one of Tyga's last hit singles with the song Ayo. However, it is hard to say how much of the album's sales performance was contributed to the fact that Chris Brown was on it. Then he suddenly nosedived downwards. Tyga's next album, the Gold Album, would have a delayed release with him claiming Young Money wouldn't let him drop it. His relationship with Young Money fell apart, and Tyga took matters into his own hands and released the album on his own independent record label on June 23rd, 2015. Ironically, the Gold Album went triple stone. This project sold 2,200 physical copies in the first week. That's right, less than 5,000. I mean, this album sold less than Tyga's first ever project, and this was released after he made a name for himself. Needless to say, it didn't chart. We're going to be talking about why this flopped in the next segment, so stick around for that, but it definitely marked the real downwards turning point for Tyga's career. And it only went further down from here. Tyga's career has pretty much drilled its way into the center of the earth at this point. It's so low. I mean, fast forward to the present day, and it's clear that he's having trouble staying relevant. He did not have a single song that charted in 2017, and that's with features from big name artists like Chief Keef and Lil Wayne. The last time he had something chart on the Hot 100 was in 2015, and that was with the song Ride Out from the Fast and Furious soundtrack, so I mean, does that even count as his song? Not only that, Tyga hasn't even featured on a notable track sales-wise since 2015. Since that point, Tyga has pretty much been making no progress in the rap game. Not even signing to good music could help his career out. Hell, his newest album, Bits 2, sold less than his first album again. And this is with features from Kanye West, Quavo, Pusha T, Young Thug, and Chief Keef. I think if we want to pinpoint when Tyga fell off, it was definitely when his relationship with Young Money fell apart and with the release of the Gold Album.
See the bro flow, please keep it low. I wrote out all my raps, you still can see the flow.
So, why did this happen? What made Tyga fall into irrelevancy so quickly? Well, if we're just talking about why the Gold Album in particular didn't sell, it's quite clear to see why. No offense to Tyga, but he would have needed a miracle to get people interested in that album again, and that miracle didn't come. Him falling out with Young Money meant that the biggest singles used to promote the album, which were Hookah and Wait for a Minute, had to be cut from the project because Young Money owned the rights to those songs. Tyga tried to defend the sales for this album by saying it was intended for streaming and that he got millions of streams, but those streams only brought him up to 5,000 albums sold. But why is Tyga flopped if we look at his music as a whole? What really is it that made him fall off so hard and has made him struggle to even make a dent in the rap game since? I think one of his biggest flaws is his lack of a real skill set. I think he has a brilliant voice for rapping, it's recognizable and sonically pleasing, but he really lacks any interesting subject matter and rhyming talent. Not to mention, his songs aren't really that cohesive either. On most tracks, you could take every single line, swap the order that they appear in completely, and it wouldn't sound any different because the lines aren't connected anyway. Then another big reason is his lack of originality. Just listen to Bits 2. I mean, the first track on that is a terrible rip-off of Litty by Meek Mill, flow-wise and beat-wise.
Feel me? Them niggas ain't this. Feel me? 9/11 on my wrist. Feel me?
Then, I mean, one of the tracks on this legit talks about putting cocaine in your ass to get high quicker, with Tyga sounding dead serious when he says it. It's also got One of One, you know, another song that copied Controlla to ride that wave. Really, the most unique thing about Tyga is his voice. It's the only thing that makes him sound different. I honestly couldn't tell you what Tyga's sound is, because he doesn't have one. He commonly sounds like he's trying to imitate Drake or Kanye, and he's just kind of artistically shallow. So, will he ever make a comeback?
She ride it, she tie me, she freaky, she bite it, she crazy, she violent, she drip.
Will he ever make a comeback? No. No. I don't want to be harsh here, but I think he's way past his time to grab anyone's interest again or redeem himself. For all the above reasons I just mentioned, his lack of originality and any real skill set, his time in hip-hop was destined to be a short-lived one. I mean, if you listen to any of his recent albums, he just genuinely sounds lost. I'm really not insulting Tyga when I say he sounds like one of the least inspired rappers around. It's pretty much just a fact at this point. He would need to pull off a miracle to get back to the heights he used to be at, but he's just fallen so far, I can never really see him climbing back up again. Tyga has fallen off hard, and a recovery, it's not likely. Well guys, thank you so much for watching. That is going to be it for the video today, and I hope you guys really did enjoy this first episode of my new series on Then Gone. Doesn't that just have a nice ring to it? Yeah, I've got a bunch of rappers I plan on doing videos on in this series soon. I've been sitting on this series idea for a long time, really thinking about how I'm going to structure it, which rappers I'm going to do, and which rapper I wanted to do first, and I decided Tyga was a good place to start. So yeah, definitely, I have plenty of ideas for this series, but let me know in the comments below if there's any particular rappers you want to see. Obviously, I'm only going to do this on rappers if they've really fallen off recently. So that's all I got to say, guys. Remember, you can subscribe to my second channel, CDTV The G, where I'll be doing music reactions, you know, 2 to 3 times a week. And that's all I got to say today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys all in the next one. And this is your boy, CDTV Productions, signing out.